Great brands, great prices. Everyone's got a reason to rack.
You know they have Marc Jacobs?
Nike? Yes. Just so many good brands.
Join the Nordy Club at Nordstrom Rack to unlock exclusive discounts on your favorite brands. Shop new arrivals first and more. Plus, get an extra 5% off every Rack purchase with a Nordstrom credit card. More perks, more value. That's why you rack.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac Extra Value Meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.
Always follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Loaded today over the next 3 hours on the program. Paul Stone, college football recommendations coming up in 90 minutes. Matt Vasgersian a little bit later on in the show talking MLB playoffs. And the real Rizzo, Tony Rizzo, ESPN of Cleveland, just watched his Guardians lose a heartbreaker to begin the playoffs. And he was reporting today that Dylan Gabriel's going to get the start for the Browns this week in London against the Minnesota Vikings. So he's coming on the show a little bit later on. A lot to react to from the Monday night games as well. But how about this? We'll go over props and a lot of them for the Major League Baseball playoffs, even though we have 2 games now, one in the books, one ongoing. Padres lead the Cubs 1-0, but a lot of fun props to look at. I have like a history of how many times some of these props have actually cashed in the playoffs and what just took place with Tarek Skubal. Caesars and Will Hill offered, will any pitcher in the playoffs, not like today or the first round, record 14 or more Ks? Mm-hmm. It was plus 550, and he got it done as they brought him back out for another inning. He brought the hammer of God in game 1.
Yes.
And the Guardians could not touch him. I didn't even look at it like his ladder props today. Like, what was he to strike out 10, 11, 12 guys?
Sure. Let's see the tickets. You know, the pizzeria's here today. Tip jar's open. What a performance, and they needed it. You know, watching that game, and I have Detroit had game 1, and also for the series, I'm thinking, it's a great story and the biggest collapse ever. But don't tell me Cleveland's going to win this game without getting the ball past. Forget about the infield.
Yep.
Get the ball off the grass as they scored their first run, which was the swinging bunt, and then the chopper off the plate, and the guy scored from second. And then the Baez error to start the 9th. Ramirez on third, nobody out, and they get out of it. So you are right. They needed him to be Superman. He was phenomenal. And now Cleveland faces elimination tomorrow, but they had to have it with throwing 107 pitches, going deep into the game. And Detroit's run in the first inning was because of an error. Cleveland ties it up, and then the beautiful safety squeeze to take the lead. Playoff baseball doesn't disappoint. It was a phenomenal game. Disappointed in the empty seats, which we got to talk to Rizzo about coming up. But 2-1 Tigers and a great performance from Skubal, and let's see what you have if you laddered them.
All right, so here is my betting takeaway from that game, and it ties into like October baseball, playoff baseball in general, how you're probably going to get lower scoring games for the most part. Pitching can dominate a lot of times in the playoffs. And we mentioned it with this game on the show yesterday. We said we would look at betting under like derivatives, right? Different markets, not the game. We would look at betting under the first 3 innings, the first 5, and the first 7. And you chimed in by saying, yeah, you don't want to get the bullpens involved here at all.
Yeah.
Now, everything stayed under today. Full game did as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about 2 runners on for the Tigers in the 9th. And they never scratched across another run.
Good point. Yep.
And then the Guardians had Ramirez on third with nobody out, and they get 1 across. That bad boy, he's going to go. Several different things could have happened. The Tigers could have exploded in the 9th. The Guardians could have tied it up in the bottom half, extra innings, and then all hell breaks loose. I think that's going to have to be the approach for all these games if you're going to like the unders. Forget full game. Just bet the first 3, 5, and 7.
Yep. That's where the bunt didn't work out when they had second and third and 1 out. So that was a good observation as well. But Detroit also needed that because they have the second worst record in baseball from September on. And you're talking about an 11-game lead with 3 weeks left and you blow it. So he was phenomenal. Now it's what happens the rest of the way. You know, as Cleveland's facing elimination, and Gavin Williams was awesome.
Really good.
In the loss. So we'll see because there's not a lot behind Skubal. But we'll see if they can get the bats going, if they can eliminate Cleveland coming up tomorrow.
All right, live betting number on this Padres game as they take on the Cubs. They're leading 1-0 now. San Diego is, and they are in the fourth inning. They are $1.56 to win this game, and the total is 4.5. Pivetta has been really good. Mm-hmm. Boyd has been actually good today. He was really, really bad kind of down the stretch for this team. So, I mean, look at that total already, thinking that not much else is going to happen today at Wrigley. And once that Padres bullpen's going to come in, it'll be tough for the Cubs to really muster anything against this offense.
Did you feel the same way about this game as Game 1 for Detroit? I think San Diego's got to have this because you're throwing Cease in Game 2. I think that's a big mistake, and you would go Darvish if there's a Game 3.
Well, I kind of like the Padres in the series anyway because of Cubs throwing Boyd in Game 1 and there's no Horton.
Yeah. Well, it was also big to get the lead in back-to-back doubles and how last season ended when you didn't score 24 innings in a row. So you were saying about making the case for the under here with once we get into the bullpens and we're getting close to the fifth inning?
Well, but that's the thing, right? Yeah. I mean, if you can still find live first 7, I would look at that more as opposed to the game. Because I don't want to take my chance of any of these games going to extra innings.
Yeah, 4.5 seems high. We've only had one rally, right? And I think the Padres had a guy on third with nobody out. It didn't get him in.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think I would look under in this game as your Pavetta's off to a good start.
We'll dive into the 2 games coming up later on today with a bunch of props coming up in about 10 minutes here in the program. You were all over Darren Waller on the show yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
You liked and then Tim Murray on the primetime show bet as a result of your strong comments on him, bet him over 9.5 receiving yards, and he blew that up right away in the first drive of the game. So 2 touchdowns came in, and he was the first touchdown scorer of the game, which is 25-1. So the redemption story here is it started up last night, and it's full pedal to the metal, in my opinion, with this guy as tight end. And they won the game. Tyreek Hill goes out. Here's one bet to make. I did it earlier today. I want to get down even more. Darren Waller to win comeback player of the year.
Come on. Already? With 50-1? What'd you get?
In that neighborhood. I got 35 because I don't have access. Well, there's one book here in town that has 40, and they'll take 14 cents on it. So go to hell, and I hope you burn to the ground. But
that was their comeback when you put it in?
They're pretty much. Pretty much. And there are other books outside of Nevada where you can get 40, 45, and 50-1. But his story is great. Did not play at all last year. He retired from the league. He has talked about this many times, and it was on a Hard Knocks episode back in 2019 with the Raiders, battling substance abuse like his whole life. And he mentioned that after his divorce with Kelsey Plum in 2024, when he was out of football, he was battling the demons again, and he fell back into it. It's the perfect comeback story for this guy.
Yeah.
And now there's no Tyreek Hill. So look at this.
You're right.
Last year, this was with Hill in games. I will remind people, Jonnu Smith was a machine playing the tight end position in a Mike McDaniel offense. He finished last year with 88 catches on 111 targets for 884 yards and 8 touchdowns. And some of the games that he had, 6 for 101, 2 touchdowns, 10 for 113, 9 for 87 and a touchdown, 9 for 48 and a touchdown. He scored 4 touchdowns in the final 5 games of the year. There's absolutely a path where this is going to make sense, and this guy now is going to have to become one of the key cogs almost of the offense, you would think.
He has the best story. 45-1 at DraftKings, 35-1 at Will Hill and Caesars. He's going to have to beat out McCaffrey, Hutchinson, and Dak. Their stories about coming off big injuries, and they're going to put up huge numbers. I think we all agree Danny Dimes can't win it. This is Sam Darnold Part 2. I think you're wasting money at plus 450. But that is a good case with his story, and you're right with Hill out now, that this guy could be a weapon, and he's could be a big part of the offense as well. But also, what we talked about yesterday, McDaniel raved about him every week when he talked to reporters. Oh, you should see this guy in practice. Oh, this guy's going to be a handful. I can't wait to see him out there. And then he gets the 2 touchdowns right off the bat. I was thinking more from a ladder perspective, about maybe he goes out and there's FOMO if he has 8 for 90 or something, or 6 for 90.
Oh, so you to the ladder 25, 30, 40 yards, that whole thing.
I wasn't expecting that. I was focused on my guy, Ollie Gordon, to get a touchdown, but this guy to get the first, get 2, that was 80-1. He gets the first. Anytime touchdown was 5-1. But when we were talking on the pregame show here, it's like he was 8.5, 7.5 at some books for the game.
Yeah.
And he gets that right away on the third down conversion.
That's exactly right. Also, then in the late game, and we're going to do this coming up in 20 minutes here on the show, our top 5 and bottom 5 teams right now in the NFL. I don't know if you can make the Bengals low enough. I'll give you a hint. They are in my bottom 5.
They made it?
And I wanted to put them even lower than where I have them. That is, and I tweeted this out as well during the game, after the game actually.
Right.
That box score looked like a powerhouse out of one of the Power 4 conferences against a lower level like FCS team.
Yep.
80 to 43 plays, 512 to 159 yards, 326 to 106 in the air, 29 first downs to 9, 8 for 14 on third down compared to 2 out of 11, 37 plus minutes of time of possession compared to 22 and change. That was a complete bloodbath. And yes, the Bengals have weapons, but it doesn't matter when you have the worst offensive line in the entire league, and your defense is probably worse.
Where's the Browning from 2 years ago? Where's the Browning who rallied to beat Jacksonville? What's happened to this guy?
Well,
what's happened to the team? Everything's dink and dunk. You can't get it to Chase. It's a debacle.
The problem is the time to throw last night. I watched some of the replays over and over and over again. Joe Montana would have looked horrendous in the game last night. And here I'm urging them not to bring back Joe Burrow because he will die in the football field playing behind this offensive line.
Yep. It was too easy for Nix, too. Guys are wide open. He just had his pick every single time. A little bit of Ingram, a little bit of Sutton, throw to this guy, a little Franklin.
They are awful.
I know. It was bad. Great job by Aikman, too. Excellent job calling out the officials and the product. I love the NFL. That was a hideous game to watch. And a big reason why was the officials with no flow. And I'm glad Aikman said something about it. That was unfortunate what happened and how they were throwing a flag every play. Right now, save 40% on our football season special with Follow the Money promo code FTM. Access to everything we do across every sport through the Super Bowl. Every best bet, every host, every guest, the betting systems, the breakdowns, the prop analyzer. Lock it in, 40% off today. Promo code FTM. All tickets cash the same. Soccer, WNBA tonight, NFL, and the NHL is here. Jonathan Davis did a great job. VSiN.com/subscribe. Get 40% off.
We'll hit the 2 games in baseball coming up next tonight. A ton of playoff props to discuss. I was stunned at how many times this has happened in recent years. I'll give you the details next here on VSiN.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac Extra Value Meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.
Come to DSW for the shoes, stay for the fun. Because let's be honest, if shoe shopping isn't fun, are you even doing it right? So go ahead, try something new. Try something different. Good different. Try something that feels like you. You know, the real you. And then definitely brag about it later. Because at DSW, you've got unlimited freedom to play. With sneakers, boots, and everything in between for every style, mood, and occasion, you'll definitely find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. DSW. Let us surprise you.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Playoff baseball continues here from Wrigley. Padres on top 1-0. They are now minus 230 to win the game. The total remains at 4.5. The under on that number is now minus 148. I don't really have a play that I love in that game as we speak. Paul, anything? You think the under still maybe worth a play?
That's a tough one.
Yeah. Coming up later on, got the Red Sox and the Yankees. That is at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock out here on the West Coast. Max Fried against Garrett Crochet. And the Yankees taking some steam. I'm seeing $1.43 at DraftKings, $1.45 at ESPN Bet, and other places as well. And what a matchup we have with the 2 pitchers that had the most wins overall this year as a starting pitcher. And Crochet against New York in those 4 starts, 3-0, 39 Ks, 12.8 Ks per 9. Fried took on the Red Sox 3 times. He had a sub-2 ERA and almost 11 Ks per 9 in this spot. But it is this Yankees lineup that Crochet, and they've been red hot, that Crochet has to go through again today.
On that great 11-1 run, Fried was Superman down the stretch, last 7 starts, 6-0 with a 1.55. I like Crochet's K-prop over, as you mentioned, 7.5 at DraftKings, minus 120. There's a lot going on here. You know, Boston's won 8 of the last 9 postseason meetings. Both teams are hot. You got 2 stud pitchers going. And the other thing is Aaron Judge. The last 2 playoff appearances, he's hitting a .165 with 35 strikeouts in 23 games. So you want to bet stuff with Judge until he can prove it? Be my guest. I'm totally fine with that and fade Judge. And the other thing is we've talked about, the Yankees have made a couple postseason runs, but they've owned the American League Central. They beat the Royals, they beat the Guardians, and they've owned the Minnesota Twins. The Yankees haven't won a postseason series against a non-AL Central team since they beat the Orioles in 2012. So that is stunning what's happened here. But you got to get Judge going. He's got to prove it. He becomes a different player in October. Can't even put the ball in play. He becomes an automatic out. But just the rivals going at it and a great series. And the bad news, where you don't have Giolito now. So I'm kind of the same way here. Detroit had to have it because you can't trust anyone behind Skubal. I don't like Cease tomorrow for San Diego. They have to hold on. And now Bayo, who was terrible down the stretch, goes in game 2 for Boston.
Right. So would you be intrigued by, would you lay 250 on Judge not to hit a home run in this game?
Yes.
Or would you look at playing under total bases here?
You can do that too, yeah. Yeah, because it's either strikeout or walk. Pitch to him very carefully. See if he gets himself out, as he's done, and he's been chasing a lot, and how bad he was last year, and an automatic out, and then he presses.
I wonder how aggressive they're going to tell Crochet to be against him, because Crochet likes to attack everybody. So maybe he comes right at him and he says,
"I would nibble, wouldn't you?" Yeah, I wouldn't go.
I would not want to get. I wouldn't want to challenge him too much. I mean, the guy's on fire right now.
Yeah. But I think that's where history's on your side, though. I mean, it just, for whatever reason, becomes... You can't ignore these numbers. This is ridiculous, what he's doing. The strikeouts are alarming.
Trying to find the walk prop on him right now. Over a half, you can find a DK minus 120.
That's good.
I don't mind that price at all.
That's good.
Other books are as high as minus 145, so I think 120 is definitely digestible.
Did you play any Rosario props? This guy has had... see if they put... Yeah. He's got to be in the lineup. He's got great numbers.
The answer is no. I did play a couple of props in this game later on, but tell us why you like Rosario.
He's got great numbers, career, and they expect to put him in against Crochet as well. And I think that'd be a good look for hits, runs, RBIs, total bases, whatever you want to do there, as he has solid numbers. Now, they were talking about they got to get him in the lineup based on what he's done with his track record and history here.
We saw in the early game, again, Crochet, or check that, Skubal had 14 Ks. Gavin Williams went way over his K prop. In this game right now in Wrigley, Pivetta already has 6 Ks through 4 innings. And the Cubs just pulled Matthew Boyd, by the way, after 4 1/3. So
it went under.
His innings or outs, I
think his outs just went under.
Go under.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a close one.
So when I was watching that Tigers game earlier and I saw Skubal and Williams lighting them up, look, if you go to vsin.com and check out the Ballpark Pal K-Prop projections, they are hot and heavy tonight on Blake Snell and Hunter Green in the same game. So I just have a little fun. I played a same-game parlay, and I put both those guys over their K-Prop tonight, and I paid plus 437, I believe, when I bet it. They are projecting Snell for 8.5 Ks, and I think it was Hunter Green a little bit over 8.
Yeah, Snell was great down the stretch, and so was Green. Dodgers, for what it's worth, beat them 5 out of the 6 in the regular season, and the run differential was staggering as well. But there was a good article up yesterday on ESPN.com. This was supposed to be an all-time team. Remember how high the win total was?
Right.
And they were a 500 team from the 4th of July on, and they even got hot down the stretch. So again, they were begging the Padres to catch them and win that division, and they couldn't do it. On the flip side, it's just the Reds haven't had a lot of postseason success. Haven't won a series since 1995 when they beat the Dodgers.
Wow. Prediction. In 1 month from right now, we are going to look back and say, how the hell did we not take the Dodgers at 5-1 to win the World Series? That's my prediction.
All right. Well, it's going to be hard to beat Snell, Yamamoto, and Ohtani. And that's what they're looking at with their rotation to start.
Sure.
And they can certainly hit, too.
And then here comes Glass now.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, you're right. But these tight games, though, how bad the bullpen was down the stretch.
I tell you what, they maybe the biggest thing they have going right now is Sasaki in the bullpen.
That's true.
I think they were below 5-1 the entire year to win the World Series. Now here you go. Because they never got a bye, they're 5-1.
Yes. Remember you were all over this prop last year? William Hill has a prop. The fastest pitch of the playoffs, 102.5 miles per hour.
I think I cashed in the first game.
Who got it?
It was Duran.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
Because the Twins gave the Astros, I think, was it Twins-Astros, a run for their money? And they almost beat them?
Yeah.
Or was that 2 years ago? I'm blanking. It could have been. Yeah.
So it's over minus 170.
I kind of like it.
Miller's hit 104 on the gun?
That's correct.
Wow.
Chapman hit 103.8. Skubal did not get there today, but he touched 102.6 on the year. And Duran, and this is for all the playoffs, right? Not just a wild card round.
This is the whole shebang.
All right. His fastest was 103.3, and his four-seamer averaged 100.6 on the year. So will one pitch get like to 102.6 in the playoffs? And what about the Mizorowski kid?
That's true.
For the Brewers.
He's coming out of the pen.
You got him, too.
Good call. Yes. As Mitch mentioned, already cashed 14 strikeouts by a pitcher plus 550. Skubal got that. Immaculate inning is 12-1.
That I have no idea. That's just a pizza money bet if you want to.
You can bet a 3-pitch inning plus 850. Player to hit 2 home runs in a game. No, is 6-1.
Okay, can I give you this?
Pretty good take back.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Guess how many players hit at least 2 home runs in one playoff game last year?
One person.
4.
Soto. 4?
4 players. Andy Pajas.
Stanton do it?
Tatis, Vientos, and Chirio.
No way.
Uh-huh. And in 2023?
Yeah.
It was done by, I got the numbers. Hold on here. I got 9. I got 10 players who did it in 2023.
Get out of here.
2 home runs or more, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Can you believe that?
I cannot believe that.
You sent that over. I'm like, wait a second here.
Great. I know.
My gut was like, we got to bet the no on that.
Did someone do 3? Yes is plus 450.
I have that actually. Hold on. The entire list. That has not happened in a couple of years, I believe. Last player, Chris Taylor, 2021. 3 for the Dodgers against Atlanta.
Come on.
And then 2 players did it in 2017. Enrique Hernandez and Jose Altuve.
Yeah. These are good. Will a team hit 5 home runs in a game? Immaculate innings 22-1. You can shop, by the way. Find that. Cycles 9-1. Consecutive hits by one team 4.5. Most runs by a team in a single inning 6.5. Over minus 150. Walk-off wins. Total playoffs 3.5. Complete game shutout 8-1.
That's going to be boy.
It's a Matt Vasgersian line. He's when April rolls around. More complete game shutouts or silverware in Human's house. Player to steal 3 or more bases, 2-1. That's not bad. I could see that happen. Extra innings, 3.5, over minus 150. Will a player have 6 RBIs in a game?
I have that one as well.
Okay, no minus 270.
It was that Taylor game the last time that he had 3 home runs. He did it in 2021.
Will a game go at least 12 innings? No, plus 220. And over grand slams for the whole playoffs, 2.5. Under $1.25. And will someone go back-to-back and belly-to-belly? No, plus 350. These are good.
Yeah, not bad.
Grand Slam today is 4-1.
I think the one that we talked about last year was there's no way a team's going to have more than 6.5 runs in an inning, and I think that night somebody had 8.
Yeah, I would be more inclined to say that as opposed to 5 straight hits. No?
Yeah, sure. Top 5 Tuesday up next. We'll run down our top 5 power-rated teams in the NFL and bottom 5 teams. The numbers don't suggest they're a top 5 team, but it's hard to leave them out.
Uh-oh.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Well, we just mentioned a bunch of these props. Back-to-back and a belly-to-belly paid what? Anytime in the playoffs?
That was a big favorite.
Suzuki, yard for the Cubs. He was 5-1 in that range. And then Carson Kelly back-to-back, as high as 9-1 from what I'm seeing as well. So now they have taken a 2-1 lead against the Padres. I believe still nobody out, bottom of the fifth. The first 5 total was 3.5. They add on one more. You're cruising along with an under bet, and now all of a sudden you're super sweaty, man.
Yep. Wheels are coming off. And I said because the home run happened right when we went to break. You mentioned the Judge stuff. It's the same thing with the Padres. Tatis, Machado. Why do these guys become different players in October? How'd you go 24 innings without scoring a run?
Right.
How does this stuff happen? So I think, the way the Cubs are rolling here, I think that could be enough for the Cubbies and get the win.
All right, Padres, Pivetta just struck out PCA. That is strikeout number 7, so he has 1 out now in the bottom of the 5th and nobody on for the Cubs. Here we go. It's time for Top 5 Tuesday.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's a top.
You ain't first, you're last.
5.
That's not enough, Dad!
Tuesday.
I've been ready for this my whole life.
Top 5 Tuesday. Dollar bills, y'all. Follow the money.
Damn right, you know it. So you were all fired up based on how putrid and vomit-inducing the Bengals' performance was. Top 5 Tuesday. Top 5 teams in the NFL. I got to go Bills number 1, although they were down big against the Ravens. Allen looks great. Favorite to win the MVP. Bills minus 250 to be the 1 seed. I got the Rams number 2. Up 19 in the third quarter against Philly. Special teams fiasco. Okay. They bounced back and beat the Colts. And I think they beat the Niners in 2 days as well. McVay and Stafford and Puka rocking and rolling. I know it hasn't been pretty, but they're 20-1 in their last 21. I got the champs, number 3. It's good to have problems when you're 4-0, though. But I know they have a lot of things to fix. The Lions have been perfect. 2.5 games, and they were awesome against the Browns as well, against a nasty defense. You are correct. I would like to see that game again this Sunday playing the Packers. But Detroit, number 4. And now that they're getting healthy and you get Worthy back and here comes Rice, what a performance against the Ravens. I have the Chiefs, number 5. Top 5. Bottom 5 to me, I got to start with Tennessee. They're a joke, horrible coach. How are you on a 2-18 ATS run? Saints, Jets, the defense is so bad. Cleveland because of the quarterback situation. And then I will go Carolina. I actually probably should have Cleveland and Carolina flipped. But Carolina can't compete on the road. Blown out, listless against Jacksonville. We're getting blown out until they made it interesting and Arizona fell asleep. And then they give up 42 unanswered against the Patriots. There we go.
Yep. So we have a lot of similarities, but some stuff that is different here. My top 5 teams right now in the National Football League, we are, same here. I have Buffalo, number 1. They are, when you look at DVOA anyway, they are number 6 overall as we speak. First on offense, but 21st on defense. Definitely something to monitor there. But they have the second highest explosive play rate in the entire league. And I definitely weight offense, as everybody does, more than defense. And here's one of the reasons why I think this might continue, where you have to be almost perfect to beat them. Josh Allen finally threw an INT against the Saints. Mm-hmm. That is his first of the year. He had 6 last year. He just has not been throwing like a lot of turnover-worthy plays and getting them picked off now for more than a year. Like, the guy has been on fire for that long. And, like, Cook is an awesome running back, and they're just going to be very difficult to beat overall. I've actually elevated Detroit to number 2 overall. And they are number 2 in DVOA, 4th on offense, 5th on defense. The defense can be scary if they stay healthy. We did not see this team, right, at full strength for most of the season last year, and what their full ceiling was, even though they won 15 games. They stay healthy. That team is a juggernaut on offense. And I made the case today on Pod to the Futures, episode number 3, which is available right now wherever you get your podcasts, that if you do not have a bet in the Offensive Player of the Year market, I would take a peek at Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's 15-1.
All right.
I have the Rams 3rd, slightly behind Detroit. They're 3rd in DVOA, 2nd on offense, 11th on defense, and I had them ahead of Philadelphia because, yes, they lost, but they were in complete control, and that was total domination for 2+ quarters that we talked about a lot after the game. And if they could have it back...
McVay was terrible in that game.
Yeah, and settling for the field goals and missing, like Stafford was missing Adams and then dropping passes, whatever. That's, I'm being generous, that easily could have been like 38-7 at one point, Rams. And they lost the game. But I have to have them ahead of Philadelphia, and I don't even want to have Philly in my top 5. I have to because the teams that they have defeated anyway, it has to count for something. A very good Dallas offense in week 1 with a healthy CeeDee Lamb, to go to KC and win it in week 2, and then to come back and beat the Rams, obviously, and then they did nothing, but they beat the Buccaneers. That's 4 teams that we're talking about of very high quality. But here's the problem. 12th in DVOA, 17th on offense, 14th on defense, but it gets worse. They are 31st right now in adjusted line yards on offense and defense. Pauly, they lead the league in 3-and-out percentage on offense. More than 45% of their drives are 3-and-out. Like, what is this? And this is the part that's not sustainable. They are 28th in explosive play percentage, 15th on the ground, 31st in the air. But to your point, they're 4-0, and they're not even playing well. So what happens, and what are they going to look like once that actually comes around on offense? And like you, I have the Chiefs. 8th overall, DVOA, 7th on offense, 13th in defense.
All right.
And
glad you came around.
Well, getting Worthy back, and also Rice coming back as well. I got to be honest, I was very close to putting Seattle or the Colts in my top 5.
Well, some big games coming up for Seattle. Okay.
They're good, and they have like really solid numbers. And where would you put the Colts right now in the AFC pecking order?
I was
3rd?
Yeah. I was reading an article. I think the Seahawks were like 11-1 to win the division after they lost week 1.
That high?
I think they got that high. Yeah.
Wow. My bottom 5, it's got to be the Titans. The worst coach current day here in the NFL, and Brian Callahan. I can't imagine he survives the season.
Wow.
Dead last in DVOA, 32nd on offense, 29th on defense. And to your point, they can't cover games. Forget about winning. They've covered 3 games since the beginning of last year. Last year was the all-time record when they went 2-15 against the spread. Mm-hmm. I have Carolina number 2.
Yeah, at least the Saints are fighting. They've been in 3 of these games.
So with the Panthers, overall DVOA, they're 29th, 28th on offense, 22nd on defense, 27th on special teams, by the way. Don't forget about that. And you're right. When they go on the road, it gets vile and nasty, and I think the Bryce Young stuff was an aberration from last year. So I have the Saints 1 spot ahead of them. Their numbers are actually worse, but they've been in these games. I know Carolina had that blowout win against Atlanta, but some of their games have been disgusting to watch and really bad on the scoreboard as well. And I have the Bengals as the 4th worst team in football right now. I wanted to go.
Wow.
I wanted to go 2nd worst. I couldn't quite get there and put them ahead of the Saints. Nor could I put it below the Panthers. Some of the reasons, like the offensive metrics, are comical. They are last in adjusted line yards on offense and defense. They have the lowest explosive play rate in the league, 32nd overall in rushing, 28th in passing. I don't know which is worse, that offensive line or the entire defense that we're watching here.
Yeah.
And as I said in the first segment of the show today, there's no need to even consider playing Joe Burrow this year. They're going to be out of it soon, and he's going to come back and play behind this unit in front of him. He's just going to get killed again. And this team, by the way, don't trade for Russell Wilson unless you think it's going to get worse. Don't trade for anybody. It's a throwaway year, much like this year was for the Atlanta Braves. Throw it away and come back and try to attack it next season. But I got to tell you, we're watching this organization waste Joe Burrow. And I have the Jets in the bottom 5 as well. Again, the defense last night. Now, they allowed 300 yards, but who knows what would have happened if that wasn't such a blowout and they had to get back into it. They are tied for the 3rd worst EPA per play on defense, Pauly. Enough already. And by the way, one more thing on the Bengals. Opta stats. Their last 2 games, they've lost by 25-plus points, held below 200 total yards, under 60 on the ground, been outrushed by 100-plus yards, taken 3-plus sacks. No other NFL team in the Super Bowl era has done that in back-to-back games.
Oh, boy. Well, that's another coach you have to question as well.
Bingo.
Doesn't know what he's doing. Can't get the ball. You can't get the ball to Chase? You became dink and dunk? What happened? Can't get a first down? Boy, that's bad.
No. That's one of those things that we'll look back on and say, remember when people actually thought Zach Taylor was good because Joe Burrow played out of his mind and they got to the Super Bowl?
Uh-huh.
And by the way, they had a good defense then. And this team has spent so much money on the offensive side, but not the offensive line. And now it's coming back to haunt them. So that was one of the worst games I think we're going to see the entire year last night. Win some, lose some is up next. Don't forget about a very important game going on later tonight. And I think there might be a pretty good betting angle. I'll try to explain next here on VSiN.
Your sausage McMuffin with egg didn't change. Your receipt did. The sausage McMuffin with egg extra value meal includes a hash brown and a small coffee for just $5. Only at McDonald's for a limited time.
Prices and participation may vary.
Ah, DSW, birthplace of the humble brag. Here, the shoes are so good, no one would ever know how little you paid. If you didn't go telling everyone, that is. And with never-ending options for every style, mood, and occasion, all at really great prices, we'll definitely give you something to brag about. So go ahead, stock up on fresh sneakers from your favorite brands. Or try those boots you always secretly knew you could pull off. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or DSW.com.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
It was all about Waller last night. First touchdown of the game, 25-1. Waller at FanDuel, 2 touchdowns, 80-1. Anytime touchdown, 5-1. His prop was 7.5 yards at some books. Incredible. Successful 2-point conversion, 3-1. Wilson anytime, plus 160. What a catch. Imagine if he had a stud quarterback. That guy is so good.
Dynamite.
Absolutely. Fields to have more passing yards than Tua. 2-1 here at Circa. Bo Nix, first touchdown, 15-1. Scoreless quarter, plus 310. Skubal to have 10-plus strikeouts, plus 270. Will a pitcher have 14 strikeouts in a playoff game at Will Hill? Yes, plus 550. Skubal gets there today in the win. Kelly home run 9-1 for the Cubbies. Suzuki 5-1. Subscribe, be part of the team. VSiN.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos at Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in, we'll put you on. Luke, send this one in. This is great. This is an idea I should come up with because Jordan always likes to ride shotgun and be a navigator in the car. Little navigation here. They got a little net here where the dog can't come up in the front seat. He's stuck. He's got his teeth out. He wants to be close to the humans, but they have the net there so he can't come up in the front. What do you think?
Well, I'm all for that. I'll give you one more that's even scarier than this. We were driving to California last year, and our one dog, Frankie, got underneath my seat driving.
Oh, no.
And got up by my feet.
Oh, no.
By the gas, and I'm just like panicking, going 75 miles an hour, like, what do I possibly do now?
Yeah.
I had to pull over as soon as possible.
I do, yes, absolutely. Let's go to Alaska. They just walk around in the neighborhoods, hang out.
My.
Now, put this in perspective when you see the car. Look how big this guy is, crossing the road. Look, compare him to the car.
I always think AI, but Jesus, man.
Oh, it's the real deal.
Yeah, I've seen some of those.
I got family in Anchorage. They are enormous. They walk right down the road. They come in your backyard.
Yeah. Yeah. The first time I ever visited my buddy, my best man at my wedding, he lived in Anchorage for a while in the military, and he had one come down his backyard on a hill. It wasn't that big, but it was still a behemoth.
Yeah, right.
Look at that thing.
God, he's a monster. Absolute monster. Very good. Lose some. Get him off. It's enough. But we got the Giants coming up on Thursday night. New York teams in prime time since 2019. Thanks to the great Evan Abrams. 5-35 straight up now. 1-17 on the road.
Good stuff right there.
Can't believe it.
Force them down our throats some more.
And the other stat, career. When the opponent scores 21 points or more, Fields is now 0-25 straight up. Oh, boy. And a bad beat. The under in the game as the Jets go 99 yards and then also get the 2-point try as well. Good game.
Not bad.
For the line moves, Sharp Plays already there. They don't just follow the market, they help move it. You're not going to outsmart billion-dollar books or full-time sharps on your own. With the Sharp Plays, you don't have to. Powered by advanced AI, trusted insider sources. Sharp plays deliver the edge. Serious bettors use every day. Free reports, alerts, market-moving insights straight to your inbox or X feed. Jeff and the crew been at it since 2011. Been with Follow the Money since day one. Documented results, trusted sources, public logs, transparent receipts. Sharpplays.com. Trusted by pros. Watched by the books. Get up there. Support them. Good guy. Sharpplays.com. So what?
I was going to say, in a span of 30 seconds, get him off TV. Stop forcing him down our throats. Good game. Not
There's
bad.
another one. Get a roll ball here. Turn it. Rack them up. Get a triple play there. Okay, double play out of the Padres. They needed that. Cubbies had 2 on, nobody out. 2-1 Cubs, bottom of the 6th. 2 outs, runner on third. They are 360 in play, 4.5 the total. What does Waller have to do from a numbers standpoint, you think? Because he's got the story, but then you're fighting off Hutchinson and...
I think just play the year. The numbers will be there.
They will be there. With the Hill injury now, they're going to feed him. And they can also play wide receiver.
Right.
He's versatile. He had a great year with the Raiders.
Just can't have him quit football again.
Uh-huh.
You know, I think he's in a right frame of mind. But, I mean, if he gets anywhere close to what Jonnu Smith did in the offense last year, he's going to have an unbelievable case. They love a great storyline, right? How good was a Joe Flacco storyline a couple years ago? Off the couch, led the Browns to the playoffs. Here's the deal. So Waller, again, we're talking about comeback player of the year, betting him around like 40 to 50 to 1 today. He was featured in an episode of Hard Knocks years ago explaining his struggle with substance abuse. He was abusing Oxy at 15 years old.
Oh, what?
Oh, yeah. Yep. He married Kelsey Plum out here, then with the Las Vegas Aces. They got divorced slightly more than a year later, which was in 2024. He missed all of last year. He was out of the league. He caught a viral infection in November of 2023. He was unable to stand or feed himself from an unbelievable Men's Health magazine story I found about him today.
Good job.
And from that story in January, he told the story, Darren Waller did, about the divorce. And he goes, quote, "I was looking at my marriage to Kelsey through the eyes of other people, like how it made me look. Who would turn down somebody with her resume?" is what he said.
Uh-huh.
But being traded to the Giants in 2023 exposed everything that was going on with me. It put me back in the space of feeling isolated. I didn't know people in New York, so I just retreated back to old habits. End of quote. It's the perfect comeback story.
So I'm thinking about this last night as he goes off, and then the Hill injury happens, which is so grotesque. Can someone tweet in about what he was doing, by the way? Like, does just the adrenaline, or because he's...
Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah, because
it had to be.
His leg... His foot is off to the side, and he's laughing and clapping. It's like he must try to mess with himself mentally because he's what he witnessed and how much pain he's in.
It must have been like shock.
Yeah, right. So then I see one book comes out with 15 to 1. I'm like, get the hell out of here. How do you put that number up? But 45, 35 to 1, I definitely think it's worth it. And it's 45 at DK, it's 35 at Will Hill Caesars. He has the story, and now with the Hill injury, which is unfortunate, I think, why not? And what a red zone weapon. What a weapon, period.
Sure.
And your point about what Jonnu Smith did last year in that offense.
Right. I hate this award because you don't know how voters are going to look at it, right?
Sam Darnold had no shot. That's right.
Sure. And he's got stiff competition here. But at that number, like, I think that number is going to go bye-bye. I think even by their next game coming up this weekend, I think that's going to be like 10 to 1 range. So,
he should eat against Carolina.
That's exactly, think of that competition there.
Uh-huh.
So again, the person who he was married to, Kelsey Plum, her former team, the Ace is in action tonight in a do or die Game 5 against the Indiana Fever.
I think the number's way too high.
Okay. So what do you make of Aces? Here's what I wanted to run by you and the audience. The Aces in the first quarter are a 2.5 point favorite. In the first half, they're 4.5. But here's why I bring it up. And Game 1, Indiana beat Vegas 89-73 here in Vegas. That's when Asia Wilson was talking about, I thought we were playing a different team. They were not prepared.
It's been a bad series. All games have been blowouts.
Yep, they bounced back in Game 2. They won 90-68. They won the first quarter 26-17 and the first half 46-35. They lost Game 2 in Seattle in their first round series. Game 3 back in Las Vegas. Now, that was a 1-point game. They actually lost the first quarter, but they won the first half by 7. Their last regular season loss was when they got blitzed by the Lynx, 111-58. The next night, they beat Golden State 101-77. They won the first quarter 27-14 and the first half 50-25. They lost 1 week before that in Minnesota, 109-78. 2 nights later, slaughtered Dallas 106-80. The first quarter was actually tied, but the first half they won by 12. The problem is here, they could be super tight tonight in this game.
Yeah. If you haven't watched it, it's all over social media and ESPN.com what Collier did today, calling out the commissioner. It was awesome. Palm will have it tomorrow. This is a hot dog stand, though, a Mickey Mouse operation. The free throw attempts were 34-11 in the last game. So I expect the Aces to have the calls go their way after Wilson and Hammond were so disgusted with it and pointed it out after the game. I still think it's a lot of points. I like under 159 in a huge game like this. Winner goes on to the finals. I bet the Mercury before Game 4. I added more Mercury, and I added Alyssa Thomas plus 140 finals MVP. The winner takes on Phoenix Friday night, Game 1.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think they were so good for so long, but they were tight. And I don't know what to do. You would say Asia Wilson over probably because they're going to feed her so much. And she had an all-time performance in that Game 3. I'm forgetting who they played now. Was it Seattle?
It was Seattle, yeah.
But she was so good. But I think they rely on her too much. But I think 158, 159 is too high tonight.
Yeah, I would actually look at maybe playing some of the quarters or halves as well under. I don't think this is going to be a free-flowing game for them. They're going to come out and play like they did since like August when they never lost games basically.
Yeah, right.
And I would like to lay like the 2 in the first quarter, but it's just such a tough Game 5s, man. They can be, or Game 7s typically, crazy. We'll update this very dramatic Cubs-Padres playoff game with the live betting numbers next.
Your sausage McMuffin with egg didn't change. Your receipt did. The sausage McMuffin with egg extra value meal includes a hash brown and a small coffee for just $5. Only at McDonald's for a limited time.
Prices and participation may vary.